promotion of women in cervical cancer screening treatment. Anambra security operatives killed 2 suspected armed robbers at Mbo. ECOWAS Parliament commences 2023 first ordinary session in Abuja. From the foreign scenes, Israeli forces killed 2 Palestinians in occupied West Bank. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good evening and welcome to the news. My name is Uchechukwu Ebonam. As the first phase of ongoing free cervical cancer screening and treatment program in Anambra State begins to wind down, the governor's wife, Nonya Soludo, has urged more women to come out and take advantage of the exercise. The governor's wife, who stated this in Oka whilst assessing the exercise so far, said that though an appreciable number of women have shown interest in the ongoing program, she still looks forward to seeing more women and girls take part in it before June 2023 deadline. We have details.
While restating how crucial the exercise is to defeating the cervical cancer challenge, Mrs. Soludo explained that the 6-month time frame for the current program is long enough to accommodate more women, irrespective of their individual schedules and locations. The governor's wife also commended health workers who are providing the services and urged them to give every woman equal priority and to ensure that those whose results come out positive are well taken care of. She further urged parents to ensure that the girl child in their reproductive age also gets screened, assuring that the designated health facilities for the screening and treatment processes have adequate human and technical experts. Mrs. Soludo also appealed to community and religious leaders, leadership of women groups, as well as other stakeholders to help drive the campaign by creating awareness among women, especially those living in rural areas, to understand the importance of the exercise. Anambra State Ministry of Health, in partnership with the World Health Organization (WHO) and Clinton Access Health Initiative (CHAI), had on December 20, 2022 kicked off free cervical cancer screening and treatment for 5,000 women and girls in the state. The program, which is scheduled to last for 6 months in the first batch, will continue in subsequent phases, but to be enjoyed only by women who are registered with the Anambra State Health Insurance Scheme. 25 health facilities have also been selected for the exercise, with plans to increase the number in due course. They include Chukwuemeka Odumogwe Ojukwu University Teaching Hospital, Oka, General Hospital Enugu, General Hospital Umueri, General Hospital Ekwulobia, Primary Health Center Ozara Isuofia, Primary Health Center Nkwere Umunachi. Others are Primary Health Center Enugu Otu, Primary Health Center Akweze, Primary Health Center Eziani, Primary Health Center Atani 1, Primary Health Center Atani 2, Primary Health Center Nofia, Maternal and Child Health Center Amobia, Child Health Center Atani, Maternal and Primary Health Center Mkpouno. Other health facilities are Ukofe Primary Health Center Umemenike Hospital, CRRHC Neni, Enugu Aguleri Primary Health Center, Obu Umueri Primary Health Center, Nagabwa Primary Health Center Umunachi, General Hospital Nanka, Primary Health Center Nanka 1, Primary Health Center Umueze Isuofia, and Agwata Primary Health Center.
The Anambra State Commissioner for Youth Development, Mr. Patrick Ahamba, has said that the present administration wants to make the state the skill hub of Africa. Mr. Ahamba stated this during a statewide monitoring and inspection of training centers and entrepreneurship development institutes for the One Youth, Two Skill project. Correspondent Blessing Uchendo reports.
The local government areas visited include Oka South, Anocha, Agwata, Orumba North and South, while the centers visited in the various local government areas include Unizik Business School, Industrial Training Fund, IDK, Neni, Oko, and Ibuhu. Addressing the trainees at each of the centers visited, the commissioner explained that the inspection was to ensure effective policy and program implementation, adding that after the training, participants would be exposed to the business aspects of the skills they must have acquired. He emphasized that Governor Chukwuma Soludo administration is desirous of creating 130,000 private sector jobs and raise 1,000 youth millionaires annually. The commissioner commended the master trainers and facilitators as well as desk officers in local government areas for helping to drive the community-based initiative modeled after Igbo apprenticeship system, and called on all young people resident in Anambra who desire to build honest and value-driven enterprise to take advantage of the scheme.
So I thank Mr. Governor immensely for this decision, looking at the future of the state. Of course, we can see that the future is bright. This 1U2 skills is a total package, empowerment package. You know, from the vocational and technical stage training to entrepreneurship training. From there, we take you guys to a cooperative, setting through comparative and need assessment.
In their various remarks, the Anambra State Chairman of National Youth Council of Nigeria, Surveyor Obiemeka Chukwudi, the Anambra State Chairman of Anambra State Association of Town Unions, Asatu Youth Wing, Comrade Ken Okoli, and the leader Ohaneze Ndigbo Youth Wing, Anambra State, Comrade Onyedika Ewe, said that 1U2 skills entrepreneurship scheme is laudable and timely, and urged the trainees to key into the initiative in order to become self-reliant.
So today we've been up to 5 local governments and the training is going very, very well. We want to appreciate Mr. Governor for this wonderful initiative to ensuring that the youth of Anambra is engaged, is empowered through skill acquisition. The program is a well-packaged program, full pack.
Some of the trainees, including Ugonna Nwobi, Favor Nwafo, Kingsley Ezenwaka, Theodore Oparugo, and Mmesoma Akanna, expressed gratitude to the state government, noting that the training has rekindled their hope for a better future, even as they commended the quality of training they are receiving in the centers.
Heading for a great Anambra, whereby every youth will be inclusive, even in the government, and also to testify tomorrow. We pray that even as they are doing this, that God should give them more strength and more wisdom to continue in their great work.
Blessing Uchendo, ABS News.
The Nigerian Red Cross Society has called on world leaders and global organizations to embark on rapid response to disaster emergencies and funding of humanitarian operations. Paul Ezoke reports.
At a ceremony to mark the 2023 World Red Cross Day at the state headquarters of the organization at Amobia, Oka South Council area, the state chairman of the Nigerian Red Cross Society, Professor Peter Kachi, said this will help create an enabling environment in order to achieve global security and safety, which he noted are central to world economic and social order to accelerate global growth in all facets of human endeavors. Professor Kachi explained that the day is celebrated to provide relief and peace to the injured people, to prevent death and help people living in vulnerable areas, to manage public health emergencies, as well as empower its members, civil societies, and other involved local communities to provide immediate responses to health disaster. He urged youth groups to volunteer to humanitarian activities and relief projects to help victims of disaster and violent conflicts, and called on the federal government to establish Federal Ministry of National Reconciliation to reconcile the entire Nigerians and enhance peaceful coexistence, enthrone national rebirth, and promote sense of value and patriotism.
As Red Cross advocates love for humanity, it is pertinent to encourage youth groups to volunteer in humanitarian activities, relief projects to help victims of disaster.
In his remarks, the live member of the organization and former Chief Judge of Anambra State, Justice Paul Obidigwe, said Anambra State Red Cross has remained alive to its responsibilities as first responder to emergencies, has continued to give succor to vulnerable members of the society in line with the basic principles of the organization.
Red Cross is seen as just as an organization, ordinary organization or society like others. Particularly Anambra is a typical practical example of what Red Cross ought to be. But for Red Cross, we are ever ready, particularly these events that we know that happens yearly.
Fielding questions from journalists, the State Secretary of the organization, Engineer Kingsley Okoye, said the Nigerian Red Cross Society has the needed structures across the state for prompt response to emergencies and is putting necessary measures in place for interventions in the predicted flooding, and called for more funding to further increase their visibility in the state.
Red Cross is in every location. Say your location in Anambra, we have structure there. Red Cross Anambra is the only branch in the 37 state that can boast of having location not only in all the local government but even in all the communities. 1 or 2 Red Cross members is there.
From Amobia in Oka South Council area, Paul Ezoke, ABS News.
Operators of Anambra State Police Command has killed 2 suspected armed robbers at Idemili North Council area. A release signed by the Police Public Relations Officer in Anambra State, Mr. Tochukwu Ikenga, said the suspects were killed during a gun duel with the criminals, while 2 others escaped, and efforts are already on to arrest other fleeing gang members.
He explained that following series of credible information to the police command from the residents of Anambra State, many joint operations are currently ongoing with the security forces, especially the vigilantes, aimed at sustaining and enhancing safety across the state. The joint operations, he said, yielded positive development as the operatives, while on routine patrol along Umusiome Mpo, Idemili North local government area, intercepted the gang of 4 operating in an unregistered black Lexus SUV, recovered 2 locally made explosives, 1 AK-47 rifle, 9 live 7.62 ammunition, 4 AK-47 magazines, charms, and other incriminating items. The release disclosed that earlier on the same date, police operatives at Azobunike in Oyi local government area arrested another gang members and vandals in the act of vandalizing a truck suspected to have been stolen. He said the suspects are 1 Musulo Fidelis, aged 51, Ilue Bunam Amobi, aged 44, Solomon Abago, aged 51, and Chidiebere Innocent, aged 28. According to the release, they all confessed to the crime and they are currently helping the police with information on other syndicate members that disposes innocent drivers of their truck before bringing them to their criminal hideout at Azuobunike.
Still to come in the news tonight, ECOWAS Parliament commences 2023 first honorary session in Abuja. Israeli forces killed 2 Palestinians in occupied West Bank. Here is a special message. Governor Chuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. The news returns after the short break.
A peak protein breakfast gets you up to a great day. How do I know? Because my daddy goes to his work feeling good and always with a smile. Mommy is always filled with confidence. My sister is always in tune. And for me, learning new things becomes absolute fun. That's because all day and every day, the peak goes on.
Start your day with a peak protein breakfast. Peak.
Welcome back to the rest of the news. ECOWAS Parliament commences 2023 first ordinary session in Abuja. The session provides a platform to deliberate and strengthen the Parliament's position on issues of regional and continental importance. Ekweajude of Abuja Bureau has details.
This session aims to strengthen coordination between ECOWAS Commission and other organs of ECOWAS, consider referrals and, if need be, invite appropriate authorities to address concerns of the parliament on issues referred to them. In his opening speech, the Speaker ECOWAS Parliament, Dr. Sidi Tunis, said the ECOWAS Parliament believes that its success as a regional body is hinged on effective cooperation with national, regional and international bodies. Hence, it has taken up the responsibility to facilitate strategic cooperations with like bodies of shared interests and values. He promised that the ECOWAS Parliament will continue to demonstrate commitment to issues related to women in the sub-region.
The allocation of funding to the ECOWAS Parliament Female Parliamentary Association ECOFEPA to fully support its programs is a demonstration of this commitment. I must commend the leadership and members of ECOFEPA for being robust, committed and dedicated to championing women issues.
The president of the ECOWAS Commission, Omar Toure, in his speech, said the sessions offer an opportunity for self-reflection, mutual learning and vigilance over the affairs of the community. He lamented that the meeting is taking place in a context characterized by upheavals in the international environment, while the situation in the region remains worrisome, but added that they are deploying all resources to ensure stability, security and resilience in member states to ensure the promotion and implementation of the Commission's goals at the level of member states within the framework of Vision 2050.
We are seriously concerned about the security situation prevailing in our region, with the persistence and the resurgence of terrorist acts in Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and northern Nigeria. These acts have taken the form of attacks against both military personnel and civilians, resulting in numerous casualties, material damage, and displacement.
In his solidarity speech to the session, the president of the Community Court of Justice ECOWAS, Justice Edward Asante, encouraged the parliamentarians to utilize the opportunity afforded by their tenure to contribute towards the strengthening of the ECOWAS edifice for the realization of the objectives of the community through the exercise of the mandate of the parliament. The president of Nigeria Senate, Senator Ahmed Lawan, in his message, urged them to play their roles as lawmakers and utilize their coming together as participants to exact the needed change in their communities.
It is tried to argue that we are more in touch with a wider scope of citizens, especially those at the grassroots. This puts us in the vantage position of reflecting realities as they affect the mass of our people.
In Abuja, Princess Ekwi Ajide reporting.
On business, the International Monetary Fund has warned Nigeria to expect a significant reduction in foreign loans as the global economy continues to experience new shocks and contractions. The IMF Deputy Divisional Chief Wang Shan stated this during a keynote presentation at the International Monetary Fund Regional Economic Outlook, which was held in Lagos. According to Shan, borrowing costs, high interest rates and increasing value of the dollar have continued to put a strain on Nigeria's economy and that of its sub-Saharan African counterparts. She noted that due to the uncertainty surrounding the global economic environment, loans from China as well as other advanced economies to Africa have been on a decline, stating that the public debt ratio has doubled in the region in the past decade. Shan added that debt vulnerabilities of Nigeria and the rest of SSA would continue to increase. From the foreign scenes, the Israeli forces have killed 2 Palestinians in the occupied West Bank. The Palestinian Health Ministry said a day after Israel pounded the Gaza Strip with missiles that killed 15 people in separate attacks over several hours. The Health Ministry identified the slain men as Ahmed Jamal Asaf, 19, and Warani Walid Katanat, 24, who were shot by Israeli soldiers in Qaibatea town, south of Jenin, the Palestinian news agency Wafa said. Witnesses reported that a large force of Israeli soldiers raided a town and broke into several homes in the western neighborhood, searched them and ransacked them, Wafa reported. Social media users in the town also reported that Israeli forces were raiding homes and stopping cars on the streets. In a statement, the Israeli military claimed the disease had fired on soldiers from a vehicle and were killed by return fire. One M16 assault rifle and a handgun were found at the scene, it said. 2 Palestinians were killed in an Israeli airstrike on a car in the southern Gaza Strip, according to local ambulance paramedics and the Palestinian Ministry of Health. From the world of sports minister Sonny Dare has declared that hosting the 2025 African Cup of Nations would accelerate Nigeria's socio-economic development. Nigeria is bidding to co-host the 2025 AFCON with Benin Republic, following original host nation Guinea's failure to meet Confederation of African Football's timeline on staging the event. Dare, who said that the federal ministry was still waiting for CAF to decide on the bid, believes the country has done all expected of it by the African body, which recently inspected the nation's facilities to ascertain whether they are ready for the biennial event. Speaking to newsmen, Dare said getting the nod to host the 2025 African Cup of Nations will open doors for the country's socio-economic development. Dare disclosed that 7 ministries, including the Ministry of Interior, are ready to put their resources together to achieve the hosting bid. Before we go tonight, remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS TV from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at ABS Television Oka. Go on to join us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And now the main points that made the news again tonight. Wife of Anambra State Governor, Mrs. Soludo, has called for more participation of women in cervical cancer screening treatment. Anambra security operatives have killed 2 suspected armed robbers at a mall. ECOWAS Parliament has commenced the 2023 First Ordinary Session in Abuja. And finally, from the foreign state, we told you that Israeli forces have killed 2 Palestinians in occupied West Bank. Governor Chuma Soludo has come through to the turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. That's all in the news tonight. My name is Uchechukwu Ibanam. Good.